Hi, everybody. Guess what? It is day one of our happiness challenge. And I am so glad you are all here. Yes, I'm still trying to figure out the perfect location of this camera. So, today we are working on the first way to really get into building this happy life, and part of some of the things that we need to let go of so we can really truly obtain the happiness that we want. So, as we get started today, I want you to make sure that you go into Facebook or anywhere that you're seeing this and let me know what you decided to do for the 30 days to make you happy. So, I don't know if you've seen my assignment, and then I want you to tag me on what your assignment is. Like, if you don't put it on my page, just like write it out like, hey, for my day one of my 30-day happy challenge, I'm choosing to dance every day, and then tag me. And then I will do the same. So, what I'm doing is I decided that I was going to be getting on live every day and make sure that I stay present and I stay consistent and I stay committed, because those are just some of the key things that I have found through my process, that those were things that I would always push to the side, especially when it got uncomfortable and it was something I didn't want to do. I would always create this resistance. But now I realize, like, hey, if I embrace the things that make my life easier, then my life is going to get easier. So that's what I'm doing. So, all right, today's lesson. So you're getting up every day, you're doing the thing that makes you happy, you're doing one thing that just makes you happy. So as you determine, like, you know what, I'm liking this feeling. This is where I want to be. This is what I want to keep doing. I'm enjoying this. So the first part of really starting to have true happiness is through forgiveness. That's the first place. And I know so many people's like, no, I'm not doing that. But let me break it down to you in this cycle of what not forgiving looks like. By you not forgiving someone is basically like you're holding on to all of that hurt and pain and you just keep carrying it around with you. Understand that this is the part a lot of people don't like to accept, that, okay, somebody hurt me, they did me wrong. Okay, they did, but I'm sure there are reasons behind why that happened. But the biggest part that we always fail to not look at is what gave them the ability to be able to hurt us like that. It didn't just sneak up one day. It just didn't out of the blue, just someone hurt you that was so close to you. That didn't just happen. There were signs the whole entire way that you kept ignoring, and you kept allowing your boundaries to be violated. And so, because you put that position there, so it's like I was saying yesterday, like sometimes we have relationships with various people, and in that timeline, what ends up happening is we've allowed them to keep violating our boundaries. But the reason they're violating our boundaries is because they never knew they existed. We never told them, like, hey, this, I didn't like this. We need to talk about this. But instead, we just kept letting it pack down. And then all of a sudden, they wake up and you just leave because you're completely cut off. You've shut yourself down. But then you feel like they did you wrong. They may have, but sometimes it's unknowingly because we haven't done a good job expressing ourselves. So when you start this part of this forgiveness exercise, I want you to forgive yourself too. And some of it is just, I can't tell you how many times I've said to myself, like, I'm sorry to me because I didn't realize how deep rooted certain things were in my life. And I was unaware of the vicious cycle that I was creating. So thank you for supporting me through this time. But now that I know better, I'm going to start doing better. And then you just keep doing that daily. And you just start looking at all the things that hurt you. Go back to some of the stuff that still is holding you. Like every time you think about it, you feel the pain again. Why do we want to, if we can still feel it so present, then that means we haven't let it go. That means it's still affecting us in every part of our life. That's the past. Let's get over it and be able to turn back and look at our past and say, hey, I learned a lot during that time. That's why now my house that I'm building, I'm choosing everything that I want in it because I realized back there that was affecting me and I don't want that anymore. And so we figure out how to do that. But we first have to step into this. We need to write down, make a list. Like I'm going to put this in the post of the homework assignments, but make a list of the things that you still look at that hurt you. Reflect on it. Reflect on the pain that you felt. Like, what did this feel like? Apologize to yourself. And then ask for guidance when it is that it's in your best and highest good for you to have that exercise with others. And it may just be right now that you have to visualize that forgiveness and you have to send forgiveness. And I'm going to tell you at the end of this call, like what I learned through Ho'oponopono, which is one of the modalities that I love and honor every day. We're going to talk about, I'm going to teach you how to do that at the end of this lesson today. So you can do that. And then when and if there's ever a time that you decide to have that forgiveness conversation with whomever that other person is, then that's your decision. But it's when you're ready because you need to make sure every part of that hurt and pain was healed before you go try to have that conversation, or it's not going to end in the way that you want it to. And that's kind of defeating the purpose of this exercise. Express your grievances, like understand it. Learn the lessons from whatever was transpiring during that. Like really learn the lessons and then let it go. Just let it go. And then begin to reprogram your mind. Like instead of looking at the pain and the hurt, look at the lesson. Look at how it benefited you. And this is when I keep saying, like, when people keep holding on to stuff, I'm like, how is it benefiting you? Tell me how this is helping. And your first thing is it's not. Yes, it is. We don't hold on to things that don't benefit us. So now look back at the situation to see why you held on to it for so long and the benefit of the lesson that you learned. Take that and now use that experience and how it made you feel and do the opposite and put that in your home. Build your new home, your new life with the positive things that you learn from that destruction. And then learn to live and be free. You would be amazed at how much this takes off of your shoulders. If you're following any of my social media, I'm now starting to put out like what physical pains we actually have and suffer from because of our emotions that we bury deep down inside of us. And that has come from our upbringing, it's come from how we were raised and what we were taught and what we observed and what we seen. And then it can go even further back because it's this vicious cycle that we continue to have. So why don't we want to choose a new cycle? Why do we want to keep living that same old cycle that is not helping anybody anymore? And when we talk about abundance and manifestations, this is a huge part of it, because one of the key things that you have to get rid of in order to manifest the life that you want is regret, resentment, revenge. You got to remove that. And most of those things stem from hurt and pain of things that we're still holding on to, that we haven't forgiven any of that process for. So if you still find yourself like, I keep manifesting, but nothing is happening, well, it's happening. It's not showing up the way that you want it to be seen, because you got all this blockage in your way that you can't see it. And so this is day one of what we're attacking when we're looking at what our happiness is. Like, just to forgive. And so let me teach you Ho'oponopono real quick. If you're not familiar with it, it is this beautiful modality, and it was created years and years and years ago in Hawaii. And I learned it through Jim Vitale, and I got certified through his company. And basically what happens is, there was this man that went into a mental institution. It was for criminally insane. These people had done the most horrific crimes you could ever imagine. And they just criminally were just insane. And this guy did not see any patient. And he came in every day and he practiced. He would read the case of a person and he would just start practicing Ho'oponopono. And the beauty of this is if I'm practicing it and I'm aware of a situation that was brought in front of me, if I start practicing this, that it's forgiven. And so that's what he started doing. And within 5 years, they ended up shutting down this location because everyone was healed. The employees were happy. They had huge turnover before, but because he started this practice, employees started being happy. Their home life started being happy. His life started getting better. Everyone in the prison started getting better and realized and was healed. And so it's pretty powerful. So as you're practicing this, so of course you can look on YouTube. There's several Ho'oponopono meditations that you can use, but you just practice it and you just say 4 words anytime you know that there's some forgiveness that needs to go on. I say this every time I walk into a room or into a place. Like, it's my way of clearing out any animosity and negative energy that may be going on. And you just say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you just keep saying those 4 words. And watch what happens. So maybe this can be another thing, if you choose that you like it, that you can add into your 30 days of daily happiness. So anyway, I am so grateful and thankful you are all here. May your journey continue to be happy and full of love. And I will see you all later. Have a very happy day.